this is not, I don't see how this works for IT. As we talked about yesterday, Chris, he thought his stomach was set for this max contract, and now I don't see a path to a max contract. When Lonzo Ball gets back, he really doesn't make sense. How do you play those two together? I think the ship has sailed on Isaiah Thomas in a lot of ways, because he's not even young, really. Yeah, so I feel bad for Isaiah Thomas, but I don't see this going well in Los Angeles.
Probably not, but the Lakers haven't had a backup point guard all year. And while everybody thinks like backup point guard is don't call me a backup point guard, don't call me, there's plenty of scorers off the bench. We just talked about Jordan Clarkson. Who's Isaiah Thomas's idol? Jamal Crawford, right? That's the guy in Seattle that everybody looks to, and that's the role that he's going to have to embrace. The mistake here is, what is his agent doing texting media outlets, like making statements? That's the dumbest thing. Here's a guy whose reputation has plummeted. He played 15 games. They couldn't wait to get rid of him. Couldn't wait to get rid of him. All you want to do is, hey, I'm super happy to be here. I'm in L.A. I'll do whatever it takes to help the Lakers try and get to the playoffs. I want to be a part of their future as much as possible. That's it. If there's a conversation to be had, should be had in private about how much you want to play.
The agent also had his mouth set on a max contract.
True. He gets paid too. You're right. If Isaiah would go there, be the backup, be the sixth man, give him 15 to 18 points a night, keep your mouth shut, it'd be great, and maybe he gets some kind of decent contract next year. The problem now is Isaiah Thomas no longer thinks he's the guy that was in Phoenix, the guy that was in Sacramento, that did come off the bench and play well. Right. He thinks he's in the atmosphere with LeBron and Russell Westbrook and James Harden and the other four guys that were in the top 5 MVP voting. And, of course, he's trying to get paid. So he's going to go in there. He's probably going to wreck chemistry. You thought Clarkson was gunning? I mean, Isaiah's thinking, I got to show my stuff. So it's not, unfortunate, it's not going to
Chris, I'm going to be positive. You were very negative on Isaiah. Failure, as we know, is the motivation for growth. This is his 5th team in 7 years, okay? At some point, he's got to look himself in the mirror and say, damn, Magic Johnson asked me to jump. I'm going to say, how high, Magic? What do you want me to do? Lonzo Ball says, hey, you know I'm the future point guard here. Isaiah, know your role. Fit in. Yes, sir. I'm gonna listen.
You think he's gonna listen to a 20-year-old rookie?
Doug,
yes,
sorry, Chris, he has no choice whatsoever. This is
I agree, but he ain't. The dude
LeBron
was
just kicked
30
you to the
points
curb
a game
after
last year.
15 games. You got booted out of Cleveland.
No, listen. We're all talking about reality, okay? But athletes don't live in a reality. They just don't. Okay? You can't be 5'8", 5'9", and make it in the NBA and average 30 a game in the NBA. If you think of reality, what should be possible, it's not. So I hear you, okay, but he doesn't hear you.
Come on, Doug. Get positive.
Now, look, if there's a guy it could work with, Luke is that guy he could work with. Luke is unbelievable with guys.
How does it work, though? In terms of you get to the fourth quarter, and I think they may lean towards playing Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, they will.
And then you've activated LeVar Ball into the situation.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Lonzo's sitting on the bench while LeVar's...
Well, first you talk to the passport agency, because there happens to be a direct correlation between the Lakers playing good basketball and LeVar Ball being in Lithuania. So you talk to me like,
Lonzo being...
If Magic's ever going to make a call, don't call anybody but call the passport agency like, the visa's, it's extended, he's got to stay there. Second thing is, like, look, just like any other remember, now he's going to be going against backups. Okay, going against backups in the spread court, he can take over Jordan Clarkson's role. Look, it's going to be but this is what it's like to coach in the NBA. This is big boy basketball. You have to manage egos. He's not dealing with reality. He's not a 30-a-game guy. He will be gunning for a new contract. I don't think it works long-term.
Let me add one thing,
for 25 games,
if the Lakers whiff on Paul George and LeBron and they punt to 2019, they're going to have money. This past year, they gave KCP $18 million for 1 year. They gave Brook Lopez a lot of money for 1 year. Maybe they say, hey, Isaiah.
No, they don't.
There is a chance. They're going to need people.
What happens to Lonzo then?
They're keeping Lonzo. He's the starting point
Then you
guard.
don't need Isaiah.
You're going to need people.
He might do it for 20 games.
There's
other bodies.
There's plenty of
Okay,
other
we'll
bodies.
see.
They'll have more big bodies.
Exactly.
because
A one-year contract is not out of the
Remember,
realm of possibility.
They did the KCP thing because he's rep by
Yes,
Rich Paul.
exactly. Well,
Isaiah
they
Thomas.
did this because they wanted
This is the best
Isaiah
theory right
out
here.
of Cleveland.
To help Rich
To
Paul,
help
to
him,
help
yes,
LeBron
exactly,
James.
to help
They
LeBron.
don't,
That's
the
the
last
best
thing they
theory
need is
you've ever
Isaiah
had.
Thomas. Even if Isaiah goes there and averages 30, does that help the Lakers at all?
he's a
They
backup
don't
player.
need that.
Here's the
Gotta
other
move.
problem is that the market is not good for any free agent.
No.
Yes.
All these guys. Lou Williams signed for $8 million a year.
Sounds good, but I'm not buying it. The key to fixing the culture, to me, is LeBron James doing what Dwayne Wade and Pat Riley have done, put their differences aside, and are working together and are happy about a reunion. Again, what I don't think LeBron understands, as long as he carries this bitterness around about Dan Gilbert in the front office, everybody else is going to feed off of that. If he's not happy, if he doesn't believe in Gilbert and the front office and the organization, that filters out to the rest of the guys on the team. And so with this new group, they could fall into the same trap as the old group. If LeBron's not happy, no one's going to be happy. And so I hear him talking about getting everybody on the same page and getting them acclimated as soon as possible. To me, that starts with put your differences aside with Dan Gilbert, make peace there, then you have a foundation to build on.
I just love that he's Teflon LeBron, right? Like, we have a problem with our culture. You saw fun in that quote several times, meaning they weren't having fun. And look, in any basketball team, you are what your best player is, right? If your best player is tough, you got a tough team. If your best player is if it's the grudge with Dan Gilbert, or if it's the fact that he doesn't like how everybody's covering what he's going to do next year, whatever it was, he's as responsible for the bad culture in the team as anybody who they sent elsewhere. Now, they're taking the burden off him, but just like he said there, the burden is just as much on him to not just integrate them, but have fun when you go to work. I think in the immediate future, it'll be more enjoyable. The question is when they hit adversity. When they hit adversity this year, those things fractured apart. That's on LeBron James. This group coming back together will also be on LeBron James.
LeBron's not blameless. I mean, if we know from his track record, there'll be drama. Maybe 3 weeks from now, maybe, before the playoffs start, there'll be some drama. But look, that bitterness you talked about, it's been there since he got back to Cleveland. And they've reached 3 finals and won 1. So as far as them winning the East, getting to the finals, I don't think his relationship with Dan Gilbert is going to ruin that. A lot of LeBron's issues with Gilbert, I mean, look, there'll never be boys. We know that. But a lot of his issues with Gilbert were from, are you going to do something to improve this team? He did it. Gilbert improved the team. And so I think some of that will be alleviated just because LeBron likes the moves they made.
My thing on the culture here, it felt like a high school cafeteria, did it not? You got Jay Crowder and Isaiah Thomas in one corner, Derrick Rose doing his own thing, Tristan Thompson and JR with the bad contracts, and LeBron's like looking around at a fragmented team. And I do believe, Rodney Hood comes in. Okay, this guy, are you going to make your three-pointers? You want to be my late career Ray Allen or my Mike Miller? Just go in the corner, make your shots. LeBron demands greatness, right? We know that. George Hill, 45% from 3. Are you going to make your shots? Because Isaiah Thomas, he wasn't making any shots. Okay, everybody do your job. Jordan Clarkson, you're new here. You're new to the culture. Accept your role coming off the bench. And I do believe it's going to work. I think this culture is fixed. I know you guys want to hammer LeBron, but if everybody buys into what LeBron says, because he's the boss.
On that. Fixed. Do you think
I
instantaneous?
I mean, it's not going to be like that. It's going to take a couple games, but overall, you're not going to have Isaiah pouting and popping off to the media. Jordan Clarkson.
The question is it too bad to stop them from getting to the finals? You think the culture, because look, Michael Jordan didn't get along with Jerry Krause.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson didn't like Jerry Krause. I mean, the culture that Isaiah Thomas fighting with Bill Laimbeer, stuff happens. Do you think it's so bad that it will keep them from winning the East? That's really the question.
I gotta see it first. I want to see these guys. I think they play tonight, right?
And they play the Celtics on Sunday.
Yeah, they should have their new players.
And so I want to see it first because, again, I'm not sure what George Hill they're getting. From what I understand, George Hill spent all year just basically shooting threes, and that's all he was really concerned about. And so I want to see what they're getting. Is this going to be an improved defensive team? Certainly, I think all these guys that they brought in, hey, they get to play with one of the all-time greats who can take it. So they should be excited. But again, I think that energy we saw from LeBron, that joy, we saw from LeBron in his last game. I need to see that more often. And the reason why I don't think we see it as often is because, again, he spends too much time mad at Dan Gilbert. And again, nobody is going to treat him better than Dan Gilbert and the Cavs.
It's not just that, though, but there's also he's the lead singer and he's gotten rid of most of his bandmates, right? But you still got the J.R. Smith problem, right? Can J.R. come off the bench? You got the Tristan problem, right? Tristan's overpaid. Can he come off the bench? Can you play him?
But those things aren't going to change, Doug.
I know. So we're talking, like, first you got to change the culture, and are they actually good enough? Who else is going to create a shot? Right? Even the other.
I like Jordan Clarkson a lot more than a lot of people. I think he can come off the bench and pump in 20 a game like a Jamal Crawford. He's done it with the Lakers. Do you know how
They were the worst team in the league.
Yeah, do you know how happy Jordan,
But they've been playing
Mr.
well
Clarkson and Nance are going to be going from the Lakers
Clarkson's
to now
fine. He's
LeBron?
fine off the bench.
Off the bench,
Yeah,
he's fine.
Exactly. That's what they need.
Right, great. Okay, you still have the problem of who's going to get you a shot outside of LeBron. He's got to have somebody get him a shot. And then there's the culture. This is a problem on two fronts. They weren't good enough and they had bad culture. Now their culture is going to change.
Here's why I think you're wrong, though. And again, I know it's much harder to be that LeBron we just saw with the triple-double and 35 points. But we have seen that LeBron before in an earlier age. And again, and when you have that LeBron, you don't need other people to get their shots.
True.
He creates so much for everybody else. Hell, you could get a shot and you might
You didn't have his first iteration in Cleveland. You didn't have another shot creator. Now, did they win it? No.
10 years ago.
Doug.
It's 10. Look,
He still is enough. In the East, he's still enough. You got Kevin Love, another perennial All-Star who'll be back.
Man,
You
come on,
don't.
man. Kevin Love
Again,
couldn't
not a
share
better
them.
Who does Boston have other than Kyrie?
I don't know, but Boston seems to keep winning basketball games.
They're 18-12, a 49-win pace over the last 2 months. They're not world beaters.
Oh, okay, so I just, to be fair, okay, I'm not saying LeBron's not great, okay? But the idea is every time he's been a super elite LeBron James, with the exception of you go back 10 years ago and he went 11 years ago and they went to the finals in the East, he's always had another guy who could take over the game for him, where he could sit. Like he's going to wear him out, and they won't have Kevin Love back to the last 2 weeks of the season. Like I think everybody just thinks, boom, done, new players, okay, all good. Like
Well, it's better. Well, and it's better.
It
They're
feels
going to be better.
It feels
on
better.
paper, it's certainly better. And in the
Well, no,
locker
on
room,
paper, actually, you would think Dwayne Wade, Derrick Rose, Isaiah Thomas.
No, those
is
guys
better.
can't shoot.
But if
They
you
can't
look,
shoot
if you
at all.
knew,
Dude, Rodney Hood's not some great shooter.
He's shooting 38% from three this year. Best of his career.
They were tired of him in Utah.
Hood is streaky, but you look at, I mean, you knew Wade, Rose, IT. They're the same player at this point.
It's different levels of washed up, not as good, need the ball,
And
not accepting of
Slug,
action.
I'm just sorry. There's never been a better table setter than LeBron James.
I agree.
And if he wants to, he can dial back the clock over the rest of this season and certainly in the playoffs that he can set a good enough table in this Eastern Conference to
We're not
cause
talking
a
about beating
problem.
Golden State.
Yeah, no.
They would need another great player.